Hello everyone, this is Surf, and today I have the honor and the privilege of giving you the history and the lowdown on everyone's favorite country, COG. Everyone knows COG, everyone loves COG, it's the best there is, and I am going to learn you a thing or two about it. We got three categories here: geography, government, and history. You're gonna know everything by the time this is done. Don't you fret about a thing. Let's dive right on in. Starting with geography, COG is sitting at the far upper right hand corner of the map and is sitting on some pretty prime real estate. There's tundras in the northern part of it, there's jungles in the south and Helsia, and there are mesa biomes at both ends of the place, of the whole country. The seas that are around it provide pretty easy access for trade and getting from place to place if you don't want to use the nether. Very lateral, easy travel there. And if you're trying to travel north to south, the rivers that permeate COG provide really good longitudinal travel north to south, you know. In terms of player geography, the most populated place in the nation is the capital, Garxijos, which is also one of the biggest cities in Eldham. If you haven't been there, I'd highly recommend you check it out yourself. It's fantastic. It's one of the best. If you're not there, the citizens are spread pretty evenly throughout the rest of the states, of which there are 9 others. Now moving on to the government. COG is one of the most populated, functioning democracies Stoneworks has ever seen, rivaled by few. I made a video myself on my personal channel on how COG, or democracies in general, are very hard to do, but COG really pulls it off, mainly because they have a policy of direct democracy and no political parties. I was saying in that video that democracies can be very easily pulled apart with factionalism and just power-hungry groups of individuals trying to take as much power as possible when the state is decentralized. However, this policy of no political parties and direct democracy really curtails all of that. Their founding document is the COG-stitution, which is a big old massive, like 16-page document that tells you everything you need to know about how the government is run and how they conduct their business. Moving on lastly to the history of COG, we have to establish some context, and this starts with the beginning of Eldham and the Elysian Empire. So before COG was here, there was the Elysian Empire, which occupied the entire quarter of Eldham in the top right. And when the ARS, the Anti-Radicalism Syndicate, and the rest of that coalition brought down the Elysian Empire, the natives who were there got their independence and this was Garxijos, Yawos, and Cognia right beside them, and we can already see where this is starting to go. And so of course over time, Garxijos, Yawos, and Cognia got closer and closer. They became better and better friends until they just decided to merge, and this was on July 17th, 2021. The merger between Garxijos, Yawos, and Cognia formed what we know today as COG. But they were still small. They got a massive boost in land after the fall of Grand Ferencia. On July 25th, Grand Ferencia lost the war. They lost the war to Drukyal and were puppeted for a brief time because their citizenship was very low after the war was finished. However, the principal state and capital of Grand Ferencia, which was just Ferencia, the name, decided to join COG. after a couple weeks of being with Drukgyal. And so Cog got the entire state of Bogatyr, doubling the size of the nation. Things wouldn't be all that stable for that long, however. At this stage in Cog's history, they weren't a democracy. This is early August-ish. And Cog was not yet a democracy. It was authoritarian under a guy named Flag. Shout out to him. And so a group formed called Gulf, which was the Garxijos United Liberation Front. And the three principal members of this were Boyo, Unk, who was the leader of Cognia, and Robraf. And these guys, combined with about 15 others, stormed the city of Garxedo, took it over, and declared not only a successful coup, but a democracy. This act was condemned by the USSE, the United Socialist States of Eldham, for obvious reasons, because Cog at that point was authoritarian / communist authoritarian, and that caused a bit of a stir. The leader of Cog, Flak, tried to resist for a little bit, but then stability was restored, and Boyo was elected the first president on the first election. Cog would get another large boost in territory starting in mid-August when Helming, a portion of Grand Ferencia which had gone independent after the Ferencian War, decided to join up with Cog. Previously, they were a vassal state of Aristios, but then after negotiations decided to be a state within Cog. And on August 29th, the newly independent nation of Helsia, which had come out of Ravengard, a Ravengard colony up in the north of Eldham, Helsia also became a state within Cog. And on September 17th, the lands of Catalyst, which were formerly part of Drukgyal, decided to join Cog. However, they did not stay long and went their own path soon after. This now leads us into October, where the most recent major event was when the states of Bogatyr, Stoltum, and Helming decided to unify under the governor of Bogatyr and consolidate into the Western Commonwealth. And that's about where we're up to today. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about Cog. Link in the description for the Discord and all of that. There are a couple Discords, one for a religion of Cog, the other for states within Cog, and then the main Cog itself. All of these can be found in the principal Cog Discord, though. Hope you enjoyed the video. There is definitely more to come out of Cog, so stay tuned.